Hello and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep IAS. I welcome you all to a daily quiz video for today. I hope that by now all of you have already subscribed to our YouTube channel. If that is not the case, please do hit the subscribe button right away and make sure you are already a part of our Telegram channel. To join the Telegram channel, you can use the link given in the description of the video. Let's begin with the very first question. Consider the following statements regarding tribals in India. Number 1. India's tribal communities form 8.6% of country's population according to 2011 census. Second, the Tribal Affairs Ministry was set up in 1999 after the bifurcation of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment with the objective of providing more focused approach on the integrated socio-economic development of the scheduled tribes. Third, the Ministry of Tribal Affairs runs Sankalp Se Siddhi initiative, also known as the Mission Vandhan, in line with Prime Minister's aim to establish sustainable livelihood for India's tribal population. Which of these given statements about the tribal population in India is or are correct? The correct answer here is D. All the three given statements regarding the tribals in India are correct. As per the last census numbers that we have released, 8.6% of India's population comprised of tribals. Till 1999, we did not have a specific tribal affairs ministry. It was the responsibility of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment to take care of the tribals. The reason why we are discussing this question is because the Tribal Affairs Ministry has not given clarity on the question of the status of scheduled tribe requests made from different states. So, there was a direct question asked from a member of parliament from Odisha. The question was on the scheduled tribe status that are pending with the union government. Multiple tribes have requested their inclusion in the scheduled tribes list so that they can also gain benefits out of reservation policies, but the Tribal Affairs Ministry has not given clarity on that. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to INS Vikrant. Number 1. Vikrant is named after India's first aircraft carrier, bought from the USSR and commissioned in 1961. Second, Vikrant is the largest naval ship to be designed and built in India. Third, the naval LCA here stands for Light Combat Aircraft, became the first aeroplane to touch down on INS Vikrant. Which of these given statements is or are correct about INS Vikrant? It's a pretty easy question. INS Vikrant has been in the news for a lot of reasons. Second and third statements are true. First is wrong because the original INS Vikrant was bought by India from UK and not USSR. First statement is wrong. The second and third statements are correct. So the answer here would be B, 2 and 3 only. The reason why we are discussing this is because of this news in the Hindu newspaper today. The naval LCA, that is a light combat aircraft, has landed on Vikrant, making it the first airplane to touch down. It was a MiG-29K. This is a major achievement for Atmanirbhar Bharat because there are not many countries who can indigenously design such a great aircraft carrier where even the planes of the Navy can land whenever it is required. As you know, INS Vikrant weighs about 42,800 tons. It was commissioned into the Navy last September. Aviation trials are being carried out post the commissioning of the aircraft. In Jan 2020, the DRDO had demonstrated a successful landing of the naval LCA on INS Vikramaditya, that is India's other aircraft carrier. Next, question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to Keoladeo National Park. Number 1. The Keoladeo National Park is formally known as the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. Second, it is a UNESCO World Heritage and a Ramsar site. Third, Gambhir and Banganga are the two rivers that flow through this national park. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The right answer here would be D. All the three given statements about the Keoladeo National Park are absolutely correct. This is a national park in Rajasthan. It is in the news because recently the Rajasthan State Forest Department has proposed that they will be making a zoo inside of the Keoladeo National Park, which in itself is a World Heritage Site. This will display a wide range of wetland species, which will include rhinos, water buffaloes, crocodiles, and even dolphins as well. The purpose of this zoo would be to ensure that there is conservation of all these species that go on out and also generate certain funds because it will attract visitors from all across the country. Next, question number 4. Consider the following statements with regards to earthquakes. Number one, shallow earthquakes are generally more devastating because they carry greater energy when they emerge on the surface. Second, magnitude is measured on the logarithmic scale, which means that seismic waves produced by a magnitude 6 earthquake have 10 times higher amplitude than the ones produced by a magnitude 5 earthquake. Third, seismic waves travel significantly faster than the speed of light. Which of these given statements is or are correct? As you can imagine, this question has been asked because of the unfortunate earthquake that has just hit Turkey and Syria, where thousands of people have lost their lives. This question has first and second statements as correct. The third statement is wrong because the seismic waves actually travel much slower as compared to the speed of light. That is why the correct answer would be A. 1 and 2 here are correct. Shallow earthquakes means earthquakes whose epicenter will be much closer to the surface of the earth. So obviously they have much more devastation as compared to those earthquakes whose epicenter is much deeper down under the surface of the earth. There is in fact a detailed article on the science of earthquakes in today's Indian Express newspaper, which I would encourage all of you to read. This talks about why is it that Turkey specifically is at the center of all these seismic activities over the years, why so many people have lost their lives. The reason being the location of Turkey, which is in the middle of a lot of tectonic plates, and that is why there are multiple faults within the tectonic plates in Turkey. Next is a previous year question from 2019. In India, the use of carbofuran, methyl parathion phorate, and triazophos is viewed with apprehension. These chemicals are used as pesticides in agriculture, preservatives in processed foods, fruit ripening agents, or moisturizing agents in cosmetics. The correct answer to this question is A. Not a very easy question to answer. This was in fact in the news a few years back when the Ministry of Agriculture issued a notification that had invited objections and suggestions from the stakeholders on how to completely ban these kind of substances. This list, if you see, includes those as well which have been asked in the paper as well. That is why this question is a straight question taken up from the current affairs, from the important news in the field of science and technology. Next is a fact of the day, and today we want to discuss about the voting rights in municipalities, more specifically the voting rights of the nominated members. This is specifically being asked because of what is happening in Delhi. As you know, even after the municipal elections in Delhi have taken place, they still cannot have the mayor elections because of the protest happening from one side or the other. Mainly the protest is about the voting rights of the nominated members. Now, nominated members are also called aldermen, ALDERMEN. This refers to those members who have been given specific roles and responsibilities, but they were not chosen or they were not elected in the municipal elections. These are, for example, the MLAs, the MPs of that area, so that they can also contribute to the policies of the municipalities. In some states, they are given the right to vote. In some other states, they are not given the right to vote to elect the mayor. This is what is at the center of controversy. Now, as per the presiding officer of the mayoral election in the MCD, those who are nominated members are allowed to vote in the house to elect the mayor, deputy mayor, etc. The problem here is, as expected, this presiding officer is a member of the BJP and was nominated by the Lieutenant Governor as the presiding officer. So the Aam Aadmi Party that has more seats as compared to the BJP are protesting against it. They do not want these nominated members to have the voting rights because they say that the voting rights do not come under Delhi Municipal Corporation Act of 1957, and that is why this election of the mayor has just not gone on. In fact, the Aam Aadmi Party is now going to the Supreme Court to ask this question again. Now, the problem here also is because before this municipal election, as you know, Delhi used to have three municipalities. All of them were clubbed together, conjoined into one single municipality. This is the first election that we are having since that decision took place, and that is why there is not much clarity over it. If you look at the Delhi Municipal Corporation Act of 1957, it says 10 members not less than age of 25 years having special knowledge or experience in municipal administration can be nominated by the administrator, provided that the person nominated under this clause shall not have the right to vote in the meetings of the corporation. Now, the presiding officer claims that an amendment was carried out in this act and notified in May 2022 that has now given the rights to nominated members also to vote. This has now come at the center of contention. The amendment also reduced the number of wards in the municipality from 272 to 250 and replaced the word government with the central government. So this is again one of those issues where the Delhi government and the center government has come face to face. It is now on the Supreme Court to resolve the matter in the coming days. As you know, the municipal laws and how the municipality works, a lot of it is decided by the respective state legislatures. Delhi being a union territory is a special case, and that is why there are all these debates about whether the Delhi government or the central government will take such decisions. This is it for today's daily quiz video. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good day ahead.